look at polar regions. Look at this map 1, dear students. This is the map world showing the polar regions here. Whatever the regions which are in orange color, this those are polar regions. Instead, it is in the northern hemisphere, dear students. Coming to the southern hemisphere, also we find polar regions. So there is a polar region at the North Pole and South Pole at two areas. This is called polar region, and it is also polar regions. Understand? So here we will study only polar region at North Pole, that is in the northern hemisphere. Look at map 2. This is a closer view to the polar region. Dear students, it is in North Pole here. So near to North Pole, this entire region is polar region. Okay, the map 1 and map 2 both tells us polar regions. This is very interesting today because whatever the seasons we experience in our life, those will not be here. Understand? These regions have continuous nights and continuous days for many months. Every day we have day and night. But in polar region, we find night for many days and daytime for many days. Do we find a sunrise, sunset every day? Yes, we find sunrise, sunset every day. But here in polar region, there is no sunrise and sunset. Understand? There is no sunrise and sunset. So what happens when there is no sunrise and sunset? Those places cannot become warm. They do not become warm. So those places are very cold due to the lack of insolation, right? What you call as a sunrise and a sunset does not take place in this region. These regions are very cold, very cold. Do you know how much cold it is? It is very cold, so that we see everywhere ice on the land, ice on the streams, ice on the rivers. Entire sea is in frozen condition. Okay, the sea also in the status of ice, that is a frozen condition. Understand? So where are these polar regions, right? These polar regions, in other word cold regions, we find near to the North Pole and South Pole. I am drawing the picture here. You see, this is North Pole, here it's South Pole. So here it is polar region, my dear students, at South Pole and at North Pole. So where do we find polar regions? Those are near to the South Pole and North Pole. Understand? These regions very near to the sorry very near to the polar regions. So you will be uh, learning today that northern polar region. Here in this class, we'll study only the polar region situated in northern hemisphere. Okay, the entire polar region is shaded with orange color here. Look at this, the North Pole. This is the water, orange color, my dear students. This I'm zooming it instead. Look at that. This is the water figure I'm showing. This orange color, which is shaded, that is a polar region situated in a northern hemisphere. Understand? Hemisphere. Understand? So, which is near to the north. Understand? So here, can you identify this line which is there? That boundary line which is the gray orange shaded. That shows it is Arctic Circle. Once again, look at this diagram. Okay, this is equator, right? And this is a tropic of Cancer, and it is Antarctic Circle, 66 end of north latitude. This one. So from 66 end of north latitude to 90 degrees north pole, this region is called polar region. Understand? And especially that is in the northern hemisphere, so it is called Arctic Circle. What we call Arctic Circle. Understand? So the northern part of the continents within the polar region are called Tundra region. So this entire shaded orange color shaded region is Tundra region. Understand what region? Tundra. Tundra in the sense cold region. Okay. Tundra means very cold, as there is no sunlight. Okay, and that means very little sunlight. There is no sunrise and sunset. So that these regions are very cold. So we call them tundra regions. Understand? And here we find a special type of vegetation, that is forest cover. Dear students, whatever the trees, plants which we see in our surrounding, such type of plant cover will not appear in tundra region. There is a special type of vegetation we find in a tundra region, which grow very short length. In the previous class we discussed it. Lichens, mosses, such type of small shorted plants grow for short period. So this is what to call the special type of vegetation and stem. So next we see that the seasons in the tundra region, right? How are tundra in a how are seasons in a tundra region? Understand? Dear students, look at this figure. This is the winter season. Understand? I'll show you that. How is winter in a tundra? Understand? What do you see in this figure, my dear students? It is completely frozen condition. Have you looked this area, which is covered with ice? Understand? Completely, the land part is in frozen condition, and the water body is also in frozen conditions. Understand? In winter, you see that it is extremely cold. Extremely cold means very severe coldness is in a tundra region. Understand? So here the sunrise and sunsets we get every day, but there is no sunrise and sunset in tundra region. Why does not a sunrise and sunset in tundra region? In the previous class we discussed that is beyond the horizons, sun rays does not shine over the head, right? That means we have seen that there on equator, tropic of Cancer and tropic of Capricorn, right? This is tropic of Cancer, equator and tropic of Capricorn. On these three latitudes we see sun shines over the head, sun shines directly here, right? After these latitudes, that is Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, there is slant falling of sun rays. Arctic Circle, then Antarctic Circle. This is Arctic Circle, and at near to South Pole it is Antarctic Circle. On these, there is no sunshine over the latitude. Understand? So that there it is no sunrise and sunset. Understand? We do not see sunrise and sunset in Tundra region. Understand? So in winter it is almost dark in the November, December, January. Understand? Winter in the sense we get in November, December, January. In the previous class we discussed what it is, you know, in what to call it is our globe. This is equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, right? On December 22nd, sun shines over the Tropic of Capricorn here, right? So that in the northern hemisphere there is no chance of sun shining over the head. So in winter it is what to call no sunrise in what to call Tundra region. Understand? It is very cold. Understand? That is in November, December, January. Sun does not rise at all in this Tundra region. So that it is very, very cold. That is bitterly cold. Very severe cold is in Tundra in the month of November, December, right, and January. Understand? At this, in these 3 months, we see that lakes, rivers, ponds, seas, everything will be in freezes. Strong cold winds blow, and there will be heavy snowfall. If water turns to water vapor and turns again to the millions of tiny water droplets, then there will be rainfall. Due to severe coldness, very important point I am saying, students, due to severe coldness, instead of rainfall, here we see snowfall. What we see? Snowfall takes place. Understand? On cold regions, there won't be rainfall, only snowfall takes place. For example, at Himalayan regions, we find only snowfall because it is very cold. So in Tundra region, as there is very cold, there is no rainfall, only snow heavily. Snow falls heavily in Tundra region. And due to this cold, severe cold and dark, all the plants die here. What is needed for plant survival? Sunshine is needed, right? As there is no sunshine, then the plants die. So there is a special type of vegetation we find in Tundra region. Instead, during this November, December, and January, the birds which are in Tundra region to escape from the cold, severe cold of the tundra, they migrate from tundra to other regions. In the month of November, December, and January, birds, animals, they leave this tundra region and migrate to the southern part of the regions. Understand? So the whole region in the November, December, and January becomes very dark and it is desolated. That means No one lives here in this region. Instead, that is winter. So we have discussed this winter. Next is summer. How is the summer in Tundra region? Instead, here sun shines in Tundra about February and March. Instead, in the month of February and March, we see that sun shines in Tundra region. Instead, it is the beginning of the sunshine. That is in the month of February and March. We know that in the March month, that is in 21st, on 21st, right? This is equator, my dear students. Understand? Equator. Understand? So on March 21st, sun rays, sun shines over the equator here, right? Then March, April, May, what do we see? Huh? The sun shining over the latitudes goes on increasing, moving to the north, right? On June 21st, when it is June 21st, understand? Then we see that on Tropic of Cancer. So gradually from March to June, we see that the sun shining over the equator moves on from equator to Tropic of Cancer. Understand? In this way, in the beginning of March, we see in the Tundra region only and 1.5 hour will be sun shine. Sun shines only 1.5 hour. Understand? Dear students, listen very carefully. Only 1.5 hour there will be sun shine. That is in what to call in the March. And as it goes towards north, the sun shining over the latitudes goes on increasing on the latitudes in the northern hemisphere. Gradually the sunshine time increases for 2 hours. Okay, then after it becomes 6 hours, then it becomes 8 hours, then after it becomes 16 hours, and finally we see 24 hours sunshine for 3 months. How many months? 3 months it is instant. It means there won't be sunset. Always we see that sunshine for 3 months. In the beginning of the class, I said that there is no sunrise and sunset, right? And now I'm saying that it is a sunrise for 3 months. Dear students, here sunrise in the sense it is not the sunrise. What do we get? Right? We get a sunrise, then slowly we see that there is a movement of the sun reaching to the over our head. By 12 o'clock, we see that the sun reaches our over our head. Right? This is in our India, in other regions. But whereas in Tundra, for 12 hours, we see the sun is in the position of horizontal. What in by horizontal? Dear students, here morning by 6:30 to 7, what do we see? Sun rises in horizontal way towards the east direction, and it appears in orange color. By 8, 9 to 10, we see that somewhat sun turning to yellowish color, right? By 12 and 1 o'clock, we see sun reaches over our head with a brightly. This is there. And these variations are not in Tundra region. Only the morning 6:30 to 7 or 7:30, whatever we see the sunrise, this will be up to 24 hours for 3 months. That what I call sunrise here. Understand? So May, June, July, we see 3 months almost sunrises. For 3 months we see continuously sun standing there. That is a twilight. It's not the sunrise equal to us. Understand? There is a partial sunlight we see here. Understand? There won't be sunset in the month of May, June, July. Understand? but the sun does not rise overhead. It means sun does not comes to the overhead. How do we get in our India? Understand? So this is a thing we see here. Understand? So sun does not go high up in the sky, so that it never becomes warm, so that it is cold. Understand? So even in the 3 months of summer, it is also cold. It won't be summer like us. In summer, we experience 42 degrees centigrade, and there the summer is cold again, as the sun does not rise above the horizon, right? So that it is very cold. So during this May, June, July also, we find it is cold. Understand? But this is somewhat different with the winter season. Understand? So we can say that it is a comparatively less cold than the winter months. Understand? Due to the relatively warm weather, some of the ice melts in the summer and starts flowing. The lakes fill up, and we see that ice, huge chunks of ice will break off. Ice starts melting, and huge chunk means in the sense a large boulder size of ice that gets into what breaks. It gets breaks and floated into the ocean. That what we call icebergs. Understand? Huge part of the ice which separated from the another part is called icebergs. Understand? This we see in summer. Understand? When do we see it is summer? Understand? In summer we see that as the ice melts, then in oceans we see icebergs. The land also what to call frozen and desolate in winter, comes alive with the coloring during the summer. Winter, how it is extremely cold in winter, so that there is no plant cover. So there will be what desolated, deserted, plain area of Tundra in winter will turn to colorful in summer, because some kind of plants grow there. Understand? In summer, we see that multicolored plants grow there. Understand? What is what type of multicolored plants here, right? Dear students, those what to call are lichens. Understand? I'll show you. This is lichens, grass, scrubs, berries, sprout. Understand? These all are the what different colors of plants which grow there and makes that region very colorful. Tundra region becomes colorful in a summer region only. Understand? Their grass, scrubs, berries, fruits of different colors, and many birds which migrated during the winter and returns back. Understand? Animals also comes back during the summer. Understand? These are the what two seasons experienced by Tundra. That is winter season and summer season. Summer season for 3 months, winter season for 3 months. Understand? Remaining it is what partial twilight. Understand? Right? So it is what to call it is what you call different from our regions. Understand? In our regions we get every day sunrise and sunset, but there is no sunrise and sunset every day, right? If sun rises, it will stand for 3 months. If sun sets, there will be what 3 months. Understand? So there is a unique type of vegetation, unique type of climate we find in Tundra region, that is polar region. Understand? Now let us see that vegetation. What type of vegetation is we find here? Understand? Due to the severe cold and upper soil surface of this Tundra region is frozen. You know, the soil is covered with ice. Understand? So that it is a frozen and into a rock like state. That ice turns to like a rock. Understand? Throughout the year we see that the surface is covered with ice. Understand? There is completely what snowfall, and this snowfall, due to the severe coldness, it becomes rock like status. Understand? And that what we call permafrost. What we call permafrost. Understand? I'll show you. Understand? This is what to call permafrost, my dear students. Understand? But throughout the year, we see it is permafrost, means permanently that is covered with snowfall. Understand? As it appears to be very hard, so that it is called permafrost. Understand? Here is the word permafrost. Frost. Understand? So it is, as there is a little soil, only soil is very little there, and there we see that some plants grow. Understand? Under ground the soil, which is being hard, and it is very difficult for trees to grow, because the trees cannot grow there, which cannot stand on ice, right, which is a frozen in a condition. Understand? We see only that some kind of a colorful plants, we see this is a 4.2 figure. See, what do you see here? Some lichens, mosses, berries, such type of trees grow. Small plants, if we cannot say trees, some small plants grow in Tundra region, right? This is a 4.2. Understand? So this is different with the figure 4.1, right? How it is this figure 4.1, it is a plane, right? This student is a plane without any plant cover. It is completely plain, right? It is plain, right? There is no colorful plants. It is a winter season. What? Winter. But whereas 4.2, if you see figure, it is covered with colorful plants. This is in a summer. Understand? So that is the difference we see in winter and summer. Understand? So as it is permafrost, it is very difficult for trees to grow. Even if they manage to grow, the trees get damaged and uprooted by the strong winds. You know, the strong winds blow in Arctic and Antarctic circle. We call them katabatic winds. Katabatic winds. They can uproot the trees, so that the trees cannot grow. Understand? Most of the tundra region is treeless. There won't be tree cover in tundra region. Understand? So it is the what the special type of vegetation we find in tundra region. So this is the special type of vegetation, my dear students. Understand? The colorful plants which are growing there for a period of 3 months only, that is in the month of May, June, and July, which is a short period of summer. For a short period of summer, that is 3 months, we see colorful plants in a tundra region. Remaining period, it is treeless. Understand? So this is what specific type of vegetation we find there. Understand? Next, the people of Tundra region. How are the people in Tundra region? Understand, right? Here, look at this figure 4.3. This is a photograph taken in 1930 of the polar region. It shows how people are here. It is bitterly cold, right? Arctic is a region which is a vast and treeless region, covers with ice, seas, barren and rocky islands. This harsh, cold land is home of certain people. We call them Eskimos. What we call them? Eskimos. Understand? People who live in tundra region are called Eskimos. Understand? What we call Eskimos. They are the people called Eskimos. What do you see in this figure, my dear students? It is people covered with some sweaters due to severe coldness. Understand? They live in some groups. in the Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and Siberia. Understand? I'll take you there. Understand where it is. Understand? This is a water figure you will see here. That is uh, what you call. Look at this. This is what Greenland. Here the people live here. Understand? In the Greenland. Okay. Then what you call Canada. Here it is there. Canada, my dear students. This is part of Canada. Understand? Here this part. Then it is Alaska. Understand? Right there the people who live in groups, they live in what groups. Understand? So and some people live in Siberia. Understand? This is Siberia in Russia. Here it is there, Siberia. Understand? Here student is what to call Siberia. Understand? Here this is a region. So in Siberia, in Greenland, and Canada, we see some people living in groups. Those are Eskimos. For thousands of years, these Eskimos were separated from other groups. They were separated from other groups. And what is their livelihood? They hunt and catch what? Fish. That is their livelihood. Understand? They hunt. Understand? They hunt what? Caribous. Understand? Hunting. What? Hunting, catching a fish, catching fish. Understand? This is the livelihood of the Eskimos. Understand? What is it called? Livelihood of the Eskimos. Understand? Dear students, this is the what we see here. Understand? So, what I want to say, it is what the Eskimos are living in that area, hunt animals and catch what fishing. Understand? And they developed a way of life which is suitable for their homeland. Eskimos traditional way of life developed to meet the challenges which of the north. What are the challenges? They have to fight with severe coldness, right? And there is no cultivation of crops, so they have to fight it to get their food. So many challenges they face here. They are very far from the remaining world, so they cannot get all the facilities what we are enjoying today. Understand? So they meet their challenges from the north. Understand? This section, what to call, we see that how the way of life with Eskimos. This is what to call completely different. Understand? My dear students, the word Eskimos is the meaning of the word is snow shoe netter. Snowshoe netter. Understand? We what to call this word meaning. Eskimos word meaning is what? Snow shoe netter. Understand? There are two main groups in Eskimos. Understand? We find some two group of people in Eskimos. Understand? One is Inuit, then you pick the other what two group of people. Understand? We find in Eskimos. Understand? Look at here. I'll show you that. Understand where it is. This is a what for that thing, and here it is. You will find. Understand? This is the what we need that word meaning. Snow Eskimos mean this is the what snowshoe netter. Understand? Snowshoe netter. Understand? In this Eskimos, we find two group of people. One is in Inuit, this one Inuit, and Yupik. There were two different types of group of Eskimos we find in Tundra region. Inuit is their language, which means people are the real people. Understand? Inuit in the sense the word Inuit. This means what is the real people. The Eskimos are the people of the Siberia. Understand? They are the descendants of the Siberia. Siberia is a place in Russia. It is located to the further north part of Asia. Understand there we find this Inuit. Understand, and Eskimos language. This is spoken for thousands of years, but they do not have written form. These people they do not have what to call a written language. Understand? So they written down into the modern period. So they were not written to the modern period. There are three main languages in Eskimos. We find. Understand? One is Aleut, Yupik, and Inupik. These are the what three languages we find in Eskimos. Understand? Look at here, dear students. I'll show you just a minute. Last 1 minute is there. I'm going to close the session also. The Aleut, Yupik, Inupik. These are the three languages spoken by the Eskimos, and they entered first in the North America 5,000 years ago. Understand? 5,000 years ago they entered. Tomorrow we'll continue how they lead group life. Understand?